Wednesday update, and the main headline is this: we want tribes to start gathering at Terra Nova Church again. We're going to talk about our unpausing and reopening strategy and how it goes through the tribes, how we're building from the small cell that we've always been at Terra back up to the anticipated someday larger gathering. So there are multiple spokes that are on this whole notion of how and why and when do we reopen. There's at once a health issue, an economic issue, and an issue of civil liberties. When it comes to the health issue, I think we're aware the idea was always from the beginning, flatten the curve means we stay in, keep the number of exposed people low so that the hospitals don't get overwhelmed and have a chance to actually prepare to be able to receive a lot of patients, because eventually we're going to have to get exposure to this thing if we're going to beat it as the human community. We get that, and now the hospitals have not been overwhelmed, so that's lightening up a little bit. Economically, we recognize this is important. It's not just one versus the other, like some people would say that it's binary. You either open because you love America and love the economy, or you stay closed because you're afraid and terrified and don't like the economy. We recognize a bad economy is going to also cost lives. It's not money versus lives. It's a both and. During the Great Depression, some 30,000 Americans took their own lives because of the economic hardships that they lived in and how hopeless they felt their situation in life was. The last one is, does the church need to express itself in defiance of the state? So the way I'm looking at this in terms of that one is there are definitely things as a libertarian that give me concern that we got a little statist a little quickly and no one seemed to even blink at it. But I don't believe that the church's right to be the church has been stripped away. It may look different for us, but it was never just the Sunday gathering. So for us, I'm going to tell you two ways in which I'm going to be looking at this. One is pastorally and as a Christian, and the other is practically as a tenet of Revolution Hall. Let me start with the second one first. Revolution Hall has undergone a remodeling process, is in the midst of that right now. We found out just recently when someone went into the office and sent some pics and talked to Gary Brown and found out they're doing a complete remodel of the hall and probably will not be ready for us to re-inhabit that until the first week of August, maybe the last week of July. So between then and now, we have to think about this pastorally and as Christians. By that I mean thinking through three lenses that are really important in times of decision making. Is this Christ-centered? Does it focus on Him, give Him glory? I don't want to become a person who's just scared for my health. I don't want to become a person who's just angry about my political rights, and I don't want to be a person who's concerned only about the dollar. I have to say first and foremost, above all three things that actually matter, I have to be concerned about how this presents Christ in my life, me seeing Him, and also in the life of the church and the church presenting Him to others. So we want to be mindful of that. Secondly, we want to make sure that we are being patient and reasonable, that we're not just rushing to the first argument or the first opportunity. I don't think we're in a position where we have to do that. So to force yourself to make decisions and stands that aren't yet necessary, to me, that's the definition of the word rash, and I want us to be patient and not rash. And lastly, it should impact the whole community positively. That's especially within Terra Nova Church, that we can be with each other. I recognize there's so much electronic fatigue right now, and it is not the same as being together. We're doing our best as a church to have multiple of our voices communicating to one another, but of course that's not the same as actually being and existing in the same space as one another. Here's the temptation some people have. They want to be able to say, how do we get back to where we were? I believe getting back to where we were is not an option, at least in the foreseeable future. What we have to instead figure out how to do is, how do we drive quickly and nimbly towards a new future? It's going to mean changes, quick changes. We've seen that throughout, whether it was the science community who said certain symptoms, they're just outliers, and now say, no, that's actually a really important early indicator of having this virus. Or certain tests that were supposed to be spot on, and now we see again and again the same story. Because this is a novel virus, we're not quite sure. Because the FDA is streamlining things, we're not quite confident about these things. And there are a lot of things that we thought were one way that are another way. I think we're going to see that in unpausing. I think we're going to see that in kinds of places, in numbers and how we meet. So we're going to try to do something that's nimble. So here's our plan, Tara, as we move forward for our reopening, our unpausing. It really plays on two strengths. The first strength is that we're a church of small groups, not with small groups. See, church with small groups, it's a program the church has. The real strength and backbone of the church is their Sunday gathering. That's what everybody knows and does. Some people are in small groups, some people are not. For Terra Nova, we were small groups before we were a church gathered. And we've learned to do life that way and have said again and again, it's our primary place of discipleship and community and mission. And we want that to continue. That's incredibly important. And let me just say it plainly, if you're at Terra and have not caught on that that's the key component, that's the cell that makes the church, I would encourage you, if you want to be a deeper part, you should really jump into small groups now. You should go online. The link will be in the show more and sign up for tribes now. So for us to be able to use that strength, that's going to be the place where we're opening. It's the one that falls in line with what the health organizations and our government organizations are telling us, that we can have a small enough gathering to be able to do that. We're going to need our tribe leaders stepping up to do that and arrange that in places that are safe for the folks to be in. It's going to look different small group to small group, but that's always been Terra's way. We want to continue to use that strength and open that direction. The fact that it's summer gives us opportunity to be outside more, where we'll be able to be safe with one another as we gather in small groups. Right now, parks are not allowing large groups to gather, but conceivably, if they open up to that level over the summer, I would love to see us gather clusters of our small groups, ones that are together in a county or near each other and know each other, together with one another, to be able to meet and share some life together. One of the things that's critical for us is to be able to hear from you in this and to do that quickly. So there's going to be a survey that's coming out this Friday. The tribe coaches and I have been working on that for 2 weeks now. And it'll ask questions about how you would be willing to meet, what things you would expect others to be doing or would plan yourself to be doing, what lines you would draw that you wouldn't go to such and such an event. We're not giving every option, obviously, but we're trying to focus on tribes and getting some later data for Sunday reopenings. We want this to have a fast turnaround. You're probably going to get it Friday. If you could get it back to us by Tuesday, that gives you the weekend to think about it, forget about it, and make a mistake on it. Talk to each other. We want every couple doing this as individuals, but you obviously can bounce ideas off each other. And then resubmitting this online survey by Tuesday. I miss the church. I miss the pieces that we have together. I miss conversations. I miss praying over people in the lobby. I miss just laughing with people I don't see that much. I miss worship together with a body of people. I just miss us as the church, as a plural noun, being together as us. I look forward to that someday. For right now, I'll take the cells of us together, knowing that we're out there worshiping together, that we're with each other again and not alone, and that we have opportunities again to care for one another, bear one another's burdens, and serve shoulder to shoulder with one another. There's going to be changes that come out of this time. And honestly, I think there are some really good opportunities for the church. I think being awake again to something we can pay lip service to and forget that the church is not just Sunday morning, that it's so much more, that this is going to become a strength of ours again. Look, at the past, I can remember saying to people who told me I can either make tribe or Sunday because of my work schedule, I would say to them, pick tribe. That's where the most real Christian life is going to go on. Please pray for us as the leadership at Terra. Pray for the elders. Pray for the deacons. Pray for the tribe leaders who are there making so many decisions right now. Here's what I know. God has better things for us ahead. I think there's going to come a day this fall when we're getting to gather again in larger numbers, but I make no promises. We'll wait and see how that one goes. And I'll leave you with this. May the Lord himself bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you peace both now and into eternity. Amen.